Hi, how's it going? It's Sarah Smerz, 498.7 WNNS. We have a very big event to talk about. Join us for Women's Power Night Against Cancer, featuring in-person guest speaker, Dr. Sandra Lee at the Route 66 Drive-In Theater. Now, this is really exciting because Dr. Lee completed a residency at SIU School of Medicine. She is a board-certified dermatologist based in California and is the star of her own hit TLC series, Dr. Pimple Popper, and she's with us today. Dr. Lee, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to be here. Really excited. I'm really excited to be back in Springfield, like in a week, to do this wonderful keynote speech. So
yes, thank you so much for being with us. Yes.
Oh, yeah. I hope that a lot of people end up coming. I've never actually been to this drive-in theater. When I lived there for 3 years, and I've never been there. But interestingly, my office is on Route 66, so in Southern California. So we're actually connected by one long road. So that's pretty cool.
Very cool. Now, we're talking about you doing your residency at SIU. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience, what that was like for you?
Well, it was a wonderful experience. And that's really part of the reason, one of the main reasons that I want to come back and really give back to the institution. I did my dermatology residency at SIU. There was a division of dermatology. And when I came to Springfield and I moved there, I didn't know anybody. Not a soul, really. And the attendings and the fellow residents really became my family, and they were so welcoming, and I had such a wonderful education there, so supportive. You know, we'd spend time at each other's houses, or really I would go to their house because my house wasn't so nice. I learned to water ski on Lake Springfield, so I have a lot of really wonderful memories there, and wonderful patient memories too. Those are, that's where I learned to be a dermatologist, learned how to be a dermatologist. So probably my first pimple was officially probably popped in that area. So it's really nice to be able to come back, and I feel really honored to be invited to speak at this event. And it's to raise money for cancer research too, which is really important, of course. In dermatology, we obviously have skin cancers. Actually, skin cancers are the most common type of cancers, period, of all cancers. But certainly there's also life-threatening kinds like melanoma and things like that. So it's really important to continue research in those areas.
Absolutely. So what inspired you to become a dermatologist in the first place? Where did it all start?
Well, my dad's a dermatologist, so I really probably had some early exposure that was that gave me a little step up, maybe a little advantage in terms of knowing what was involved in being a dermatologist. And also maybe it also means, I don't know, that I know my dad was, he's retired now, but he was an excellent dermatologist. And I think a lot of the things that I do I learned from him, or we have similar traits. And so I feel really lucky to be a dermatologist because it is arguably maybe the most difficult specialty to get into. It's very competitive. And so I was really lucky to get a position, and I was really lucky that SIU took a chance on me, and they asked me to be one of the residents. There's really only 2 a year. So it's a really big deal.
What are some of the signs that you should look for when looking for skin cancer?
Well, I think one of the main things probably is if you have a spot that you think might be a pimple or a bug bite and it kind of bleeds, if you hit it with a washcloth or you scratch it lightly and it heals, then it bleeds again, like it doesn't just resolve and go away, it kind of persists. That's something that you want to bring to the attention of your dermatologist, hopefully at SIU Dermatology. That could be a sign of what we call a basal cell carcinoma or a squamous cell carcinoma, which are less life-threatening, more locally invasive kind of skin cancers. They're very common in sun-exposed areas, very common in farmers and people out there, especially in Springfield. I saw a lot of skin cancer out there because there's a lot of people that work out in the sun all day. And then, of course, if you certainly have a mole, like a mole that changes suddenly, or you get a new mole later in your life, maybe in your late 20s or older than that, if you get something new, bring it to the attention of your dermatologist, and certainly trust your instinct too. If you feel like something's just not right, this one spot looks a lot different than other spots on you, that's something that you want to bring up to your doctor.
Definitely. It's the Women's Power Night Against Cancer coming up Wednesday, April 14th. Again, it's at the Route 66 Drive-In Theater with Dr. Sandra Lee, aka Dr. Pimple Popper. Dr. Lee, how can anyone get a hold of you? Social media handles, things like that?
Well, first of all, I want to say I will post the invite on my social media at Dr. Sandra Lee, Dr. Sandra Lee. But I also have at Dr. Pimple Popper. If you're a popaholic, so you might, if you can't handle watching that stuff, then you probably want to stick to Dr. Sandra Lee. But I'm usually both on Facebook, on Twitter, also on TikTok as Dr. Pimple Popper. And so I'll post information there. And I also have my skincare line that it started really from all of this social media. It's slmdskincare.com. You can get my skincare line, but also it's at Target, which is so exciting. I'm going to check out the Target in Springfield because it's supposed to be there. So I'm going to look to see what's there. And then also, what was the other thing that I was going to say? And my TV show, which I'm so proud of, on TLC and Discovery Plus. There's still new episodes, I believe. We're still airing the last of this season. But yeah, I think it's more harder to get away from me. If you can't watch the stuff, I think it's somewhat hard to fully avoid me. So I apologize for that.
Dr. Lee, aka Dr. Pimple Popper, coming to Springfield April 14th. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Of course, come see me, okay, guys? Say hello, and it'll be so cool to I'm going to be talking to cars, I suppose. A bunch of people in cars, so it'll be really exciting and interesting. So I look forward to it. Thank you.